Hiya folks, JD here, and today I'm going to just take you through my final thoughts of the X46G. Now it's a slightly different video than normal. I'm just going to be showing you footage from the various flights I've done. At the time of making this video, I've taken this quadcopter out 5 times for 5 separate flights. Now you may have seen the rest of the video in this series. If you haven't and you want to catch up, you'll find all the links in the description. Alright then, so what I'm going to talk at today is just about the X46G, a couple of things which niggle. There's not really any massive things inside here, it's just small niggles that can be easily sorted out, hopefully through a firmware update, which might come later on in down the line. So what are we looking at? Well, here's what we have. Point number 1, start off there. We have the slow decline when you bring the quadcopter down. Now, it is very slow, it is very measured. I would have preferred it if they had left that rate being really quite quick, and then you can then alter it using the amount of throttle that you want to use. Either bring it down quicker or lower or slower. There is a time when I was flying this in the first 2 videos that I've put up here where I thought the quadcopter had hung in the air. It hadn't. It is just moving so ridiculously slow I couldn't see it. If I'd actually looked at the height meter on the transmitter, I would have seen the quadcopter moving altitude. That's the first one. The second one is the app. The app needs to have a little bit more tips, a bit more tool tips to let you know exactly what you're doing when you're calibrating. The manual tells you everything you need to know, but when you get out on the field and you're ready to go, it's very easy to forget what the manual has said. So therefore, it would be nice to have something in this app, the HFun Plus app, that says something along the lines of calibrate one set or calibrate another compass, calibrate this compass, like you get with 90% of the other apps out there. It's not that much of a big deal. It is a bit of a niggle though. Now, positive is the quadcopter's flight. Wow, this thing just glides through the air, absolutely glides. And it responds to the minimal of movement from the analog stick. It feels really refined from that point of view. It feels almost as if the quadcopter, as if the people developing it have spent a lot of time to ensure that it flies superbly. And it really does. I think it flies really nicely. You have 2 speed modes, speed mode fast and speed mode even faster. And to be honest, leaving it in speed mode 1 is going to maximize your battery, and it is no slouch. It really is going to go. Speed mode 2, you do drain a bit more battery, and to be honest, there's not really that much of a massive difference in speed, so you could just leave it at speed mode 1 and you'd be quite happy with that. Now, the overall movement, excellent. Descent, very slow. I wish they'd alter that. The overall throttle up, increase in speed, brilliant. Moving your roll, positive pitch, negative pitch, no problem whatsoever. It didn't wobble, it wobbled once as I was turning it, and then I activated the air brakes and it wobbled a little bit. But again, it was fantastic. Really, really nice quadcopter to fly. The camera is pretty awful. It's not true 1080 in the video, and it's not true 4K in the photos. That being said, you do get a bit of jello. I wish that they would put a little gimbal on this, even a 2-axis gimbal, something, just to try and absorb some of that jello. It's not a great deal in the video from the video output, but it's enough to really put you off it. Third point, I don't know what point are we on to now. One of the other points is that the SD card. Well, there is no SD card writer built into the quad. It looks like on the camera module that there is, but if you look at it closely, it has no connector. Nothing whatsoever. So you can't even stick an SD card in it. Now, that's not that much of a big deal. I prefer to record to my phone anyway. The only quadcopter I really need that on is something like a Unique or DJI, something that has the quality that needs to have an SD card. These don't, therefore they can record to your phone. That's not really here nor there. Just thought I'd mention it. Wi-Fi, absolutely abysmal. Now I've tested this using a Wi-Fi tester on my phone, and basically when you're standing right next to something which is broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal, you can stand there and you can see that your signal range on this app is say 100%, give or take a couple of atmospherics. Now as you walk away, you should notice that this app starts to decrease ever so slowly. If I walk away from this particular quadcopter using this app, I get to about 15-20 meters, and all of a sudden the signal drops massively to the point where it actually starts to jar. It can't find the SSID, it can't lock onto it, and therefore I lose signal at around about 30 meters. Now in the field, obviously I had a bit of height, about 22 meters. That gave me an overall of 50 meters for the video relay. Anything over 50 meters, I couldn't get the video to relay at all. Now, as I'm a line of sight flyer, that's not really the be all and end all for me. It's actually means very little. But at the same time, I thought I'd mention it, as there are some people out there that do rely heavily in their FPV relay coming back onto their phone. I would have liked this to have a much higher gain on the Wi-Fi, just to ensure that you could actually just pick up something. I mean, 5G is not brilliant for distance. 2.4 is better at relaying, but at the same time, I have taken 5G quadcopters 350, 400 meters. So at the same time, I would like to see this having a much better module. All that to be said, I really like this quad. After flying some of the hit and miss ones that we've had for the past couple of weeks, it's been really nice to fly something that has flown exceptionally well. I would even say, now my all-time favourite toy grade quadcopter to fly has got to be the SJRCF11. I love the movements, I love the analog sticks, I love everything about that quad. This one, actually, in my estimation, is a much better flyer than the SJRCF11. I love it, and I can't wait to take this out even more. Even with all the downsides and some of the positives that I have listed, I would say that this quadcopter is still a great buy. Now, the price itself is a little bit too high. I really wish they'd bring these price points down. It really annoys me when you're paying over £200 for a quadcopter that doesn't feel 100% finished. Fortunately, this one does in its flight, but everything else, it just kind of misses the bar on everything that I've just explained. That being said, I do recommend it only if you can get it at a cheaper price. If you can get it at a cheaper price, Jesus, jump at it. I think it's going to be fantastic, and it is a great flyer. If you're going to pay full whack for it, make sure you have some discount codes to apply in order to make it a much better option for yourself and for your pocket. Alright my friends, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and ring that bell too. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time my friends, happy flying.